Hey fellow foodies, it's Faye from faye'sfood.com. Today's not going to be a recipe video as much as it is a technique or tip video. If you're on the journey to learn how to decorate cakes and you're just completely new to this, you're going to need to practice. And this is what this video will be. It's going to show you how you can effectively and cheaply practice at home. So, I like to have a plastic scraper on hand. You can also have a offset spatula do the same job. You're going to need some scissors. A clean towel. Some hot water. And then the pastry tubes or pastry tips, whatever you call them. I'm going to use some disposable pastry bags. You can of course use the regular plastic cotton lined pastry bags. Either is fine. And then we have this practice quote unquote icing, which is really just some whipped up shortening and confectioner sugar. This will pipe beautifully for you, and it's very cheap and easy to make. So forgive me if you already know this, but if you're completely new to cake decorating, I hope this part helps you. I'm going to just talk a little bit about this stuff. So this is called a coupler. Maybe you've seen them at Michael's or other baking stores or stores that carry baking items. This just helps you switch pastry tubes without having to switch pastry bags. I was a doubter at first, but then I began to use them and I questioned my whole baking life without this. It really comes in useful big time, so I definitely suggest that. So these are the larger tubes. I don't know if they make them larger than this. These are pretty big, but they may. These are just some star tips and then some round tips. These are the medium-sized tips. And when you are first starting out with cake decorating, want to learn as much as you can do a lot with just some star tips, some round tips, and then a smaller round tip that allows you to write on cakes. So I definitely recommend you get those three if you're going to first start out. Now these are the smaller tips, and these are good for cupcakes or cookies. And you can see there are a bunch of different sizes. Now clearly, if you're not having a 21-inch bag like I am here, you're not going to need to cut it down. But I start by cutting it down, just make it easier on me to handle. And then you're going to put in the first part of the coupler. And if you don't have a coupler, you would just put the pastry tube in at this point. And you'd follow the same procedure. Just kind of push it all the way to the end and then cut it. Alright, so at this point what we're going to do is you would just decide on whatever tips you want to practice with, and then you're going to go ahead and kind of just screw it on there with the second part of the coupler. Alright, good to go. Important, if you're using disposable bags, make sure you use very good quality ones. You don't want it to break on you. So this is our fluffy, light, pipeable whipped shortening. Do not eat this, but it's gonna come in handy. So the reason why I like using this so-called practice icing is because it's much cheaper than making buttercream. Obviously butter, vanilla, heavy cream, these type of things and ingredients are expensive, and they're more expensive and maybe less accessible than shortening is. So I just whip up some shortening, some confectioner sugar. I don't put any vanilla or any flavoring. I put maybe a little bit of water to thin it down, smooth it out, and that's it. So if you want the full recipe, that will be on faye'sfood.com. Don't worry, I got you. So we're gonna go ahead, we filled our bag, we're gonna go ahead and burp the bag, as they call it, which is just kind of pushing out the air bubbles trapped in there. And then you just twist it. And you can really practice on any surface. You could practice on a turntable if you'd like. Me, I like to practice on the back of a baking sheet. Why? Because it has a larger work area. You can work on it easily. It doesn't move on you. It's easy to clean. You just kind of scrape off the icing and you're good to go. That's how I like to do it. If you don't have a baking sheet, you can definitely use a wax paper or parchment paper. Anything like that will work. So I'm no expert. I'm not claiming to be a piping expert. I'm kind of new, just like you may be. So I just want to show you really the technique of how easily it is to practice at home and how cheap it can be. You don't have to keep making buttercream. Just whip up this shortening and you're good to go. So I honestly feel if you're first starting out, the shell border is going to be what you're going to want to learn first, in my opinion, because it's the most widely used, really, border on cakes. And you can see we just kind of scrape it off when we're done, just like a fresh chalkboard. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Subscribe to this channel for more great videos. And the full recipe for the practice icing will be on faye'sfood.com. And until next time, guys, you have a great day.